In this video, I will be using PowerShell for applying start menu personalization settings. I'm starting this video from my GitHub page, and that's because there are a few bits of information here that I will be using for this video, and I will leave the URL in the description down below. In this video, I will be only focusing on the settings that are here in the green area, and then for the layouts and also for the folders, I will make 2 more videos that I will be uploading on the same time as this video. Anyways, in this video, I will show you how to modify the settings for a single user that is executing the PowerShell script, and also a different method that will allow you to modify the settings for all the users on the computer. And here you can see the PowerShell snippet that I will be using for modifying the start menu personalization settings. And this snippet will modify 5 registry entries. Each of the settings are responsible for one of the toggle buttons here in the user interface. And here you can see the registry location where the entry will be modified. Here you can see registry entry name, and then for the value we enter 0 if we want to disable the feature, and we can enter 1 if we want to enable it. And first, to demonstrate how everything works, I will be using the user interface, and for that I will go to my VMware workstation where I have this Windows 11 virtual machine, and I will be demonstrating everything on it. Now first I will go to the start menu and to the settings application, personalization, and then start. And here we have the 5 toggle buttons. And for the first demonstration, I will only be focusing on the first toggle button that is called Show Recently Added Apps. And this toggle button is responsible for this area in the start menu where it shows recently installed applications. Like you see here, we have Notepad++ and also Google Chrome. And now I will go back to my GitHub page. And the first registry entry in here is for configuring that toggle button that is responsible for recently installed apps, as you can see here from the comment. And now I will copy the registry entry location and then go back to the virtual machine. I will open registry editor by typing regedit in the start menu, and then I will open it. Here we need to select the current user hive because all the settings that the snippet will be modifying will be in the current user hive. I will add / in the location, insert the location from the GitHub page and press enter. And here we can see a few registry entries. And here we are looking for a registry entry called show recent list. But as you can see, it is not here. And that's because this toggle button was never clicked on, and if it was never clicked on, the registry entry is not created. But if I go back to the user interface, turn off the toggle button, go back to the registry editor, and refresh the screen, you can see that we have a new registry entry with the value 0. And if I go to the start menu, here we no longer see Notepad++ or Google Chrome. Now, if I turn back on this toggle button, go back to the start menu, the applications once again appeared. And also in the registry editor, if we refresh the screen, the value changed from 0 to 1. And that's basically it. This is how it works when we click on the toggle buttons manually. Now for the second demonstration, I will enable all of them. Then I will go back to my GitHub page and I will copy this snippet. And for that, I will click on the button right here, go back to the virtual machine, and I will open a PowerShell window. I will run it as administrator, click yes in here. And then I will insert the snippet from the GitHub page, press enter. As you can see, the snippet executed without any error messages. And now in here, the show recent list should update from 1 to 0. If I refresh the screen, as you can see, it worked exactly as I said. And if I go back to the user interface, you can see that all the values in here are still on. And the reason for that is that when we modify the registry, the values in here don't update automatically, but we can refresh the screen by going back to the personalizations and going back to the start. And as you can see, now we have everything off in here. Also, if I go to the start menu, here we don't see the Google Chrome or Notepad++. So that's it for turning everything off. Now, if you want to turn everything on, we can use the second snippet that I have here. It's basically the same snippet as before, but instead of 0, we're entering 1 in here. So once again, I will click on the button right here, go to the PowerShell window, insert the snippet, press enter. If I go to the registry editor, you can see that the values here changed from 0 to 1. And if I refresh the screen, you can see that everything in here is now on. And that's basically it for demonstrating the second snippet. And very important thing to understand here that the snippets in here work only for the users that are executing the PowerShell script. Because as you can see in here, all the registry entries are modified in the current user registry hive. That means that after executing this PowerShell snippet, it will not affect other users on the computer. And if you want to modify the registry entries for all the users on the computer, here I have another snippet that works in a very different way. And this snippet first will create a provisioning folder on the computer in C program data directory, only if the directory does not exist. Then it will create a registry file with all of the start menu personalization settings. As you can see, here we have the registry entry names and here we have the values. And this registry file will be created in the provisioning directory that the script created previously. And after creating the file, it will create registry entries to modify active setup. And active setup allows us to execute something for all the users on the computer once during the logon process, even for the users that we will be creating in the future. And this is a bit difficult for me to explain, but here I'm configuring active setup to configure run once, and run once is very similar to active setup. And the main difference is for new user accounts, because active setup is executed before run once, and sometimes active setup is executed before all the new user registry entries are created. And this means that if we only use active setup to import the registry file, it's possible that the registry entries that we create by importing the file will be overwritten by the new user creation process. And that's why I'm configuring active setup to configure run once to import the registry file, because run once entries will be executed after the user will be fully created. And that's basically it. Now to demonstrate how this snippet works, I will click on the button right here. Go back to the virtual machine. As you can see, for this user, we have all the values currently on. Then I will go to the PowerShell window, insert a snippet, press enter. As you can see, once again, the snippet executed successfully. So now if I go to the file explorer, then C, program data, and then provisioning folder. Here we can see the registry file that will be imported for all the users on the computer, even for the users that we will create in the future. And first I will demonstrate that it works with my admin user, because this user is already existing one. So I will close all the windows that I have in here, and then I will sign out from my admin user. And then I will sign back in. Now we need to wait a bit for the run once to import the registry file. But in the meantime, we can go to the start, settings, and then personalizations, and then start. And as you can see, most likely the file is already imported because all the settings in here are off. And now I will create a new user account. So I will go to the start menu, open CMD, and I will run it as administrator. I will use the net user command, and then I will create John, and then let's add. So the user was successfully created. I will sign out from my admin user and then sign into the John's account. Now we need to wait a bit for the John's account to be created. And now in the John's account, once again, I will open settings application, go to personalization, start. And as you can see, the file was imported and we have all the values off in here. And that means that the last snippet that I have here in my GitHub page worked as expected. And we can double check by going to the start menu. As you can see, we have no applications in here. And that's basically it for this video. Like and subscribe if you want to see more videos like this, and see you in the next one.